How's it going? Back again. We're going to carry on for a bit with the rebuild. Just been inside playing with the boys for a bit and playing Lego with them and rough and tumble and talking to the wife, things like that, chilling out with them, which is cool. It's just cool. I make those things a priority, eh? Alright, but we're back here now, so we'll soldier on. We'll get this ignition module in, I think. Alright. Which is on this side of the saw. For your viewing pleasure. Right, talks. Glad I decided to leave everything out so I could come back out and give it a go. I don't know if I'm going to get everything done, so you might see the end of this series sort of happen next weekend sometime, some stage. But it could be a bit longer because I have lots of different things to do. Hoping to go and cut down more trees this weekend coming, so that should be cool. These people watch my videos that we're going out to as well, so they may let me film, I'm not too sure. But anyway, so for this, putting the ignition module in, you need a business card. Okay, that's my business card. So we just put that in there. Nope. It's not wanting to fit underneath there. Alright. There we go. Need that business card in there. Get that on the magnet to stick in there. And then in we go. Alright. So you can see now. Put that in there. And then we can put this in. On there. I'm just going to rotate this around a bit. Sorry, I'm just sorting this out. Alright, so you got your two screws. Alright, one here and one over here. And you can just put them in now, let the magnets on there. Just sitting down straight in there. A little bit of pressure on there. The magnets actually hold it hard enough, I find, on there. Magnets on the flywheel, okay? And get these in there. Get in there. And they got little washers underneath them as well. Okay, business card out. And magneto's all in there. Right, and that can go up there and join into our spark plug later on. So something else we need to do now is probably get this fuel tank on. I cleaned it. It wasn't in a very good state of clean last time. Oh, I know what I can do as well. Let's put this boot on. Okay, put the boot on here. Now these MS280s have a ring instead of like a band that tightens like you would find in a Pro Saw. I don't like it. I don't like it. It doesn't seem to me to be a secure way to have a intake boot on like that. I'm just going to pull this away and check. Oh yeah, that's all. It's all pretty lined up. Yep, so I'm just checking it's lined up. So I'll just put that easily around there, and then the ring just goes on. And I'm just going to have a look at this ring. So the ring's got no special way of going on, as I see. It's got a ridge in there, so it helps it sort of pop over and onto it. So that just gets pressed onto that boot there, like that. You see it going on around the boot? Okay, I'm just gonna get a screwdriver. I'm not pressing on the boot in any way, shape or form with the screwdriver. I'm solely on that ring, okay? Not on the boot, not touching the boot. And I'm just pressing it on. Make sure that is fully on there, fully committed to that. I'm just going to pull it away and have a look. Alright, so that's all done. You can see that boot is now on there. Oh, muted the volume somehow, hang on. Yeah. No, don't know if that muted you guys, hopefully not. So that's on there. So now pretty much ready for that rear handle to go on. And that goes on. I'm not 100% sure how that goes on actually. I can't remember. Anyway, I think we'll flip it upside down for a start. Okay, I'll just have a look at what's going on here. Okay, make sure they've got wires in here coming out, make sure they're folded and tucked up like that. Get all them in there. That gets pushed down into it. Again, that's in there. Push that all over. Yeah, it's an interesting problem, getting this thing back in there. Because that is actually not sitting that well in there. Maybe. Aha. I see what I've done. I think. Normally you can put fuel tanks on at this stage, but I have done something pretty silly. Okay, so we're going to correct it. We'll correct it live. Okay. We'll correct it live. So what I've done, bring this up for you to have a look at. So I've put this polycarbonate casing on. Okay, the handle should have gone on first. I didn't know that because I didn't have the handle clean or anything like that. I sort of can't remember how I pulled this apart. It's been so long. So let's correct this. Okay, we'll get it done. So the flywheel has to come off. For one thing. But that's no issue. Just use the old impact driver there. Okay. And then we'll top off. It doesn't normally come off that easy because it's usually been on there for a while, okay? But this time it's come off pretty easy. So I'm just going to take out all these, and then we'll put that handle on, we'll pop this back on, we'll put the flywheel back on. It doesn't need the business card in there to readjust for that, okay? That's set now. Alright, so we can just take the flywheel off and on at our leisure now and not have to worry about that distance. Take the 5 screws out of this, and this polycarbonate piece of casing just popped right off. I wouldn't actually mind buying one of these sorts because I've got a feeling they would be quite cool to modify, even though they're clamshell. Ceramic bearings and all the rest of it. So now we can put that casing, okay? This handle, it'll all go in much easier because we've got this all exposed, you see? And that is true. And then all the rest of everything will just slide onto it. I'm going to push there's an impulse line in here, right, that goes onto a piece of the handle there. I'm going to push that in now. Here's my pliers. It's on the inside of, just in here, in this bit. I've got the handle on, that's a bit of a problem. Alright, so just in here, the impulse line connects up. I'm going to reach in from the other side with my pliers. It's alright, got my hand in the way. Have to. Alright, and that's connected up now. Oh, the other trick I'll do before I go too much further is I'll set up my this is a, whose trick is this? I think it's Matthew Olson showed me this on one of his videos. I think it's his trick. I think it's his trick, or it could be A-Fleet Commands, okay? One of those guys, one of those great saw welders. So you wrap a string around the intake manifold there, the intake boot, alright? Sorry. Whoa. It's actually helped me, believe it or not. Around the intake boot. And then you put it through the other side there, that string, alright? And we will proceed then to put this in. I swing it around, put it upside down again. And those just pop into there. I'm just popping the AV mounts in there. I think those are in enough. So let's pop the AV mounts in. 360, so those AV mounts both have popped through there. Okay, that's all I did, I just pushed them in. And now we're back up to the top here. You can just grab your string that's tied to the boot here. Try and come around a bit more. Camera. Okay, so basically the string is is wrapped around that intake boot. Okay, I'm going to control it from the back a little bit as well. And you just pull on the string a bit and sort of pull it up and around so you can get this intake boot through. Push from the other side. Can't normally push from the other side of saws like this. It's got a lot of space in the back there, but you just pull that string around and everything just pops through like that. It's a really handy way to get intake boots done. No, Chainsaw Guy. I know Matthew Olson does this as well, but Chainsaw Guy shows me that. That's where I've seen it. That's where I'd seen it. I knew it was one of the great guys. So yeah, that's the impulse line. The impulse line's in, intake boots in, AV mounts are in. We've got some wires to join back up. I'll show you that as well. And we'll just bring it back around, flip it up like that a bit. Flip it up like this a bit so you can see what I'm doing, sort of. And we'll put that polycarbonate part back on saw. Okay, and that going to fit back into the mounting and everything really great. Just check that rubber's still in there for the okay. So that's all in there. That's all in there. And we'll put these bolts, these screws back in again. Okay. Get this all tightened back down again. And that's the way I should have done it in the first place, but I didn't, because I forgot. Because that's what happens when you build a saw, when you take a saw apart, thinking you'll get back to it, and that doesn't happen. For various reasons, because you're chopping down trees, or you've got family, you know, life, work, everything like that, you know. I do a full-time job, I do this, I cut down trees, I spend time with my boys. There's, you know, it's a full-on life, I tell you, especially when you're working 50 to 60 hours a week. Right. That is all back in there now. Where that goes. Right. So that's all back in there now, and we'll put our flywheel back on. Alright. Back down in there. Tweak it to the left a bit. There we go, that's in. And done. So that's the flywheel back on and this all back in. Okay, what are we going to move on to now? That's feeling really good in there. Oh yes, okay, we'll stay on this side and we'll put these wires all on. Be the best thing to do. So that wire can go, black wire can go on the bottom. Okay. Can you see that? So just in there, there's a little path in the back of the ignition module. Try to get my hands out of the way. For the black wire to go in. If it wants to. And then that can just clip on to that part there. Alright, I'm just going to slip that business card back in there. So I'm going to put this just going to take that ignition module piece off again at the top here for this this earth wire to come around. Okay. It's just going to go in there again, just making sure that that ignition module doesn't move out of place. It shouldn't, it's got the other screw in there, but you never know. Right, so that all goes down there. And then that one hooks in there, down past there. I really want to try and push that black wire into that place there. There we go. It is in. It is in. So that's cool. And that'll keep all that sorted. So that ignition module just goes in there, spark plug goes in the spark plug hole, of course. So that is all that. What else can we do? Let's get rid of a few more screws, I think. I'm going to put this brake cover on. Chain brake cover slips into there. Okay, just go into there without too much drama. And then that's got two screws that go into there. The first part of the day I haven't had any watches. Everyone must have found something to do. Which is good. Not that I haven't got any watches, but good that they've found some stuff to do. Right, so these are two smaller screws. They just pop into here. Like that. Hold that all on. In here there is a chain catcher. I'm just going to bend that out a bit. I think that's been sort of bent in a bit. through, clean that up a bit. We put it on there. The old chain catcher. Get some to there like that. I'll just screw it in because it's not wanting to play ball. Get it a bit lower before we slip it into place underneath that, this side of the bar there. And that can just swing up and around and into come on. Doesn't want to do that. It's like, no, I refuse. Struggling a bit with that bar thing in the way. Okay. Plan 220. And we'll do it like that. That screws down into there. Oh. Just beforehand, before I do something genius. I've got this to go in here as well. Is that going to play silly buggers now, is it? Chain catcher back off. Happens sometimes in saws, eh? Like, oh, I should really put that in there and that should be there. You gotta do it and you have to take 50 things off to do what you're trying to achieve. Alright, that stays in there now. Sorry, I'm just pushing a cap in. Sorry, can't see it. I was just putting that black cap in there, that one. There's another one here. Clean it up. It goes on this side. Okay. It does go on that side. Go in. Go in. Okay, that's in. It's about as in as it's getting. I smell fuel. Why do I smell fuel? Oh, it's just out of the tank. It must be building up a bit of pressure in the afternoon heat. It's got no fuel in there. It must just have a smell of it wafting up. Right. That is that. Where to from here? There is the handle, carb. Let's do the carb, eh? Let's do the carb end. All right. Does that work for you? So you can see you've got the post for the carb, impulse line comes in through that triangle there, and we've got our fuel line. All right. The other thing we need to do is throttle linkage. This ring sits inside the carb here. Okay, it's got little dimples on each side like that, and those sort of located in there inside the intake boot there. And then you've got this, like it's like a big washer. It goes on there. Okay, you can see this side goes to your impulse line. Slides on there like that. So easy. And your carb. Goes in there like that. The fuel line tucked under. I wonder if we can put that fuel line on first actually. If we can. We'll just start it at least. No, not a good idea. I'll put it on after. So that carb just flicks into there like that. And it'll sit up harder against that one. Fuel line tucked under. So you can see the just in here, fuel line for the carb pokes through. Alright, so take this fuel line and just push it up and onto the carb like that. So it's well on there. Right, and we've still got the throttle linkage to do. I'm just going to swing it this way to have a quick look at it. So basically the throttle linkage is just sitting in there, and you need to press this down and just pull it and pull it in line with it, so it sort of just clicks in there. And then that's in there now. You can test it, that's working like that. Okay, so that's all done. Right. Then we got this cover that goes on here. Sits over the back of everything. Alright. Goes on. Followed by this thing. Alright. And that way is up. Not the way I was putting it on, that way. That way's up. And then you got your 8mm nuts that go on the back here. Alright, and that's where your air filter clips onto that bit. Too easy, guys. Just gonna get my 8mm. Bit of Stihl there, Stihl. Stihl, that's how you actually, they say it like that up at Stihl in Auckland. So they talk about Mr. Stihl, Andreas Stihl, who started it all. And you just want to snug those up nice, so you don't want to go crazy on them, you don't need it. Snug them up nice. Just until you feel that little bit of resistance. Like that. And that is all done. That is all done. Okay. Next, could put top cover on if we wanted. I don't want to though. I don't want to put that spark plug in there until later date. So we might do the handle here. Okay. And the handle's just going to fit into there like that. And I'm probably forgetting something here. I think I need to, I'm just going to rest that like that. Flip it up. And here there's some bits and pieces that need to go into here. Right, this little thingy, how does that go? I think it slots down in there. Does it go down in there like that? Does it slide in over there? I think it does. It slides down in there, and then that whole thing is sort of captured in there. So maybe that does need to go on, and then we slide that down. Sorry, figuring out things as I go. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. We'll get it though. So that needs to lock that off in there. Right, you can see that fitting across there, right? That goes in. Push that. Push that down into there. Should put through. Bit of help there. Bit of help. Come on. There we go. Right. So that's through there like that. On there. And it's got this thing. This one. It goes through. And this little orange piece slits down the other side of here. And this thing goes and sits into there like that. And that's part of the AV mount. I'm just going to put that through now. Okay, and that's popped through beautifully. And push that into there. I really struggled with this when I first did it because I didn't really know what was going on with it, you know. It took me a little while to sort of suss it out, but this thing was like on a wire hooked through there, you know. There we go, that goes like that. Just around a bit. Alright, and now that thing is down there. Push this orange thing down. I'll swivel it around so you can sort of see. I didn't know that orange thing just popped out of there like that. So, see the orange thing that's down in there? I just slid it down in there. It's literally holding that little thing like I showed you before. Cool. So you got that? Right. Now we need some plastic screws. Plastic screws, like Ken says. Plastic screws. And that all goes in there. T27, where are you? There's two plastic screws that go in Sure, I'll just put one in a moment. Alright, that one's in. This one needs clearing out. Tell you what, these broken helicoils are turning out well handy, cleaning out screws and stuff like that. They're better than the other sort of wire that I was doing it with. Heaps better. I'm going to keep them around. Right, here goes the other one on. It's in. It's in. Snipper me, don't do these ones tight, you'll kill them. Right, go underneath here now. Just lock that off. And plastic screws in here. No, that one's full of crap. Full of crap. That's really good at doing that. That one's in there. I might be wrong about the pulley being held on with plastic screws, because it looks like all the plastic screws actually go into the handle parts. So that's interesting. Handle on now. Good. All right. Like that. Flick her up. And the handle's on. Neato. All right. Let's put that. Let's put the starter cover on, It's all locked in there now. Starter cover on, all nice and clean. Okay. T27s. Got this little cup washer that always sits into the chainbrake handle. And then run this through into there. I wonder if these have got, these must have metal inserts in them. I'll just let all of them find their home. So we'll put that starter cover on nice and even. It's starting to look like a chainsaw now. Hopefully that's what I've built. Which is pretty cool. I'm glad it's looking like a chainsaw. Just seen this rubber thing. I can't remember where it goes. That'll be a bit of a mystery to solve. I'm sure it'll crop up. Sure it will. Will definitely go somewhere. Oh, I wonder if... Oh, that screw's got to go. Okay, I have to take this off. I have to take this off. I know where that other screw goes. Not that rubber thing, I don't know where that goes. There's an AB mount in here on a spring that I forgot to chuck a screw in. It can be one of these ones. 6 of these all up. Leave that cup so I don't drop it. I'll show you in a second. That's frustrating because I just about had all the screws. At least I didn't have them all flipping tightened down. Okay. So off you come. Put you back on in a second. And we're going to run screw. So there's an AV mount. Where I'll flick it right around. You can't see it. See the spring here? That's where I'm putting it into. Okay, it's the AV mount. Right in that hole there. Good thing I remember that. I thought, where are we going? Where'd that screw go? Where's this one go? Right, so back up onto the starter. I won't get time to start this up today. I don't want to start this up today. I'm going to be waiting for all the gasket maker to set up properly. For the, I mean, everything should be dry. I probably could start it, you know, but it's just about being a little bit risk averse there when it comes to starting this chainsaw for the first time. Okay. I don't know what kind of compressions it's got. Felt alright before. It always feels, you can always tell a bit more when it's. Should get a compression tester. That's what I should do. Just to see, see if something's got 150 psi in it or something like that. Okay, we'll turn it up, lock it off, and I can't actually tell because that spark plug's not in there. Just snip that in there. Okay, spark plug's in. Ooh. Oh yeah, she's got some compression, alright. That's cool. And that spark plug wasn't even done up as tight as it should be. Should have been leaking a bit. She's got some compression. It's a shame that this has no mods on it, this saw. I should buy one. I think I need to buy one. Do I need 4 chainsaws? Do I need 4 chainsaws? I think I do. Is it, you know, can a man have too many chainsaws? I think the answer to that is no. No, a man cannot have too many chainsaws. You know? So that's the starter cover all on. I'll swing that over so you can see. It's upside down, but you can still see it's all on. I'll have a look at the other parts that we've got to, oh yeah, that's in there now, put on here. So, air filter, hello to my viewer. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put that spark plug in there. I'm just going to do a bit of a sneaky, so nothing sticks to it. That is in there tight and beautiful. Let's check that decomp as well while I'm in here. It can't because the handle's on. We'll check that later with a sprocket. I'm going to put that on there. Alright, so ignition coil's all on there. That's all sitting out of the way. Yep, that's all good. And she's looking like a chainsaw. What do you reckon? Not much else to put on. Top cover. Let's put the top cover on. This saw has been hot before, look at that. It's been hot. Something happened to it. So it's supposed to... Oh yeah, that goes down in there. Still cracks me up how little saws like this has decomps on it, eh? Kind of funny. Like, if you can't pull a saw like this over, then you probably, without a decomp, then you probably shouldn't be using it. But I guess it makes it easier to start. It's all nice and everything like that. Okay, that's a bit funny in there. Okay, this is a bit of safety, guys. Show you this. See this? See this plastic? This top cover? I try to see, because that was sitting inside there before. I'll clip it back in, I'll show you. Alright. Oh no, because it wasn't sitting in that clip. Okay, so it wasn't as bad as I thought. It could become a hazard, but it's alright now. It was hitting there and coming up on this lip and preventing the chain brake going on before, but it's not now. Okay, so that's all good. False alarm. I thought I was going to have to cut it off, and I would, in the name of safety. It's been hot before, that's for sure. Alright guys, so, air filter cover on. Don't know where that thing goes though. This piece of plastic. What is that for? What is this for? No idea. Looks like something wires would run up actually. It's got a little hole in it or something. Wonder if they do. If I whip that top cover off and have a look again. I'll even whip this off and just have a look. Forgot about that plastic thing that I couldn't see where it went. Let's get it all off. Let's see if it's something that the wires sit in. I don't remember pushing anything through wires and something like that. I don't remember doing that. What I remember about the bit when I took it off is just taking it off and thinking, oh yeah, I better remember where that goes. So much for that. So much for that idea. Where do you go? No idea where you go. Really don't. I don't know where this thing goes. Nothing to do with the tuning. Hope it wasn't in the handle or something. I don't think it was. Where does it go? I don't know. Doesn't go in there. Doesn't go in there. I've got a funny feeling it goes somewhere on this side of the chainsaw. So let's pull that side cover off and have a look too. Again, let's pull the side cover off again. Basically, I've got to find out where this goes, and then I've got to put the the chain tensioner on. This saw's built. And of course, there's first fire up and tuning and everything like that, so that might not be till next weekend. We'll do a bit of a vid on that. This part 4 has been quite long, putting the rest of it on. We're just about at an hour now. That means I'm just about running out of time as well. I've got to go inside soon. I cook dinner on the weekends for my wife and kids, so the wife can have a break. That's how we run things. She likes to not have to cook dinner a couple of nights a week. That's fair enough. She lets me come out and play, which is cool. Wow. I've got a feeling something goes in there somewhere or something like that. I hope it's not something I have to pull half the chainsaw apart again for. I hope so. It's not something that goes in there, is it? Nope. Guys, I really can't work this one out. I really can't. This is something that goes in the back of the saw there. Where do you go? It looks, it's got a hole in it, like something goes in there. It looks like something. Looks like it swivels into place or something. Clicks into something and swivels into place. Can't really find any, or see any holes like that. It's off. I wonder if it's in the carburetor. See, next thing I know, I'll have this whole chainsaw in pieces again. Trying to find out where this goes. I'm not going to worry about it for now. Not going to worry about it for now. I'll put it back together. If anyone knows where that bit goes, I'll show you it again. Give me a yell in the messages. Looks like that. This looks like it clips into something and swivels and turns into something. I'll have a look on the internet and I'll find out where it goes. But if someone could tell me, it'd be great. So I'll leave that in there. Put the side cover back on and put it back together. It's not a part that's detrimental to the operation. It's probably some sort of buffer or something like that. So it's not like a safety feature thing or something like that, you know, because all the normal parts, as far as I can see, of this saw are in place and working just fine. So guys, I'm going to leave it here because you've all seen me do this before, and I think I've got other videos showing you how to put a chain tensioner in and everything like that. And I've been running 62 minutes now, and you've had the last 5 minutes of me fluffing around going, where's that bit go? I can't remember. So we'll just leave it. We'll move on. Get the side cover on. Oh, count this build is done. Done. She's gone then done, son. Done. Right. Top cover. Come on now. Be nice. Cover's all warped day because it's been so hot. So one more video, we'll do part 5 on this. Start up, tune. I'll find out the specs for it during the week. If I've got enough time on the night or something like that, or one night after work, I'll have a look at it then. It's not sitting in here right. Oh, that's fun. All right, I'm going to stop making around. I'll sort this out. Stay tuned for part 5, guys. Have a good week. Stay safe out there. Use your PPE if you're using saws or working on saws. And we'll say still for life and have a good one.